our annual faculty lecture centered around a theme that lies at the heart of pharmaceutical innovation and healthcare equity: collaboration between industry and academia to improve access to medicines. Ensuring equitable access to safe, effective, and affordable medicines for all is one of the most pressing challenges in the global healthcare. In our world today, where medical advancements are moving at lightning speed, it is an unsettling reality that millions still lack access to medicines. The paradox of innovation on one hand and inaccessibility on the other compels us to rethink how we work, who we partner with, and the barriers we must break. It is in this context that a collaboration between academia and industry emerges not merely as a strategy, but as a moral imperative. Academia brings to the table a wealth of knowledge, rigorous research, and unwavering pursuit of truth. On the other hand, the industry brings skill, speed, practical applications, and resources to translate innovation into accessible solutions. When these two forces unite, guided by purpose, not just profit, we unlock possibilities that neither could achieve alone. Our role as a faculty is to be more than a hub of theoretical knowledge. We must serve as a catalyst for real-world impact. We must train minds that not only understand science, but are committed to service. And we must build bridges between researchers and manufacturers, between ideas and implementation, between innovation and communities that desperately need them. Today's lecture is an opportunity to learn, to challenge assumptions, and to explore actionable pathways for meaningful partnerships. It is also a clarion call for all stakeholders, government, private sector, non-governmental organizations, and academia, to co-create solutions that make access to medicine a right, not a privilege. I thank our guest speaker, Pharm Ijimakin, from Fidson Healthcare, for honoring our invitation. We thank the university community and invited guests for honoring our invitation. Your presence affirms that the mission we pursue is shared and achievable together. Let this lecture not be, and it shouldn't, end in applause. This lecture will desire a situation where everyone, every stakeholder, moves to implement. Let today mark a renewed commitment to collaboration, innovation, and inclusion in our quest to make essential medicines available, affordable, and accessible to all. Thank you.
Okay, so we're pushing on this morning. We will now invite the chairman of the occasion, our former Vice Chancellor and father, in the person of Professor Monday Mangwet, as he makes his remarks. A round of applause for him as he takes the podium.
Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor that are present, other professors that are here, Dean of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, my Honorable Professor Sokomba, somebody I knew for quite a long time. Way back at APU. And even he was my senior. Then here, he worked in one of the most organized faculties that I know of while I was classmate. And I'm not saying this to flatter anybody. He knows I respect him, truly, including his wife. That's why I was asking him how she was and so on. Many of you do not know that I was Vice Chancellor as a circumstance of crisis. And when I became acting Vice Chancellor, one of the first crises that I faced had to do with students. Apparently, one of these big buses had killed one of our students on the junction just out there. And the roads were blocked. Not many of you know that this road is a very important tertiary road. It links Jos and the entire northeast. So the police were very, very worried. The students refused on the roads and so on and so forth. I was phoned. I visited the students. 1 a.m. The dead body of their colleague was still on the road. I said, to honor your colleague, let's collect this, take it to anatomy, while we wait as to what to do with it and so on. You know, I've never seen a mob anger of that dimension. And they respected me, and they collected, they packaged the body and took it to anatomy. But the roads were still closed. And the federal government was very worried. The commissioner of police, Abu Bakr, was very, very worried. That's the chap who eventually became the Inspector General of Police. He had served in Lagos, so he was used to riotous conditions and so on. And he said, I must disperse the students. So I said, well, I can't do this alone. So I drove to the police headquarters. And I'm telling this story because I said I couldn't go to this place alone. So I looked for one of the senior academics in the university and requested him to accompany me to the police headquarters. And this was Professor Iraloye. And the man just, he didn't say a word. He just accompanied me. We sat in my car. We got to that place. And the police commissioner said myself and him should enter the car. So we surrendered the car to Iraloye. I'm giving this story because that's the first assistance I had. And the pharmacy faculty, I do not know what has happened. Until I left, to be honest with you, it was one of the faculties you could count on. Iraloye helped me. We drove through this way with the police commissioner in the car. And it was when the students saw me and the commissioner of police, then as God would work it out, they now formed some chain and paved the way and were clapping and so on. And I addressed them, and the police commissioner also addressed them. And thereafter, the students and the police, they left to headquarters to sort out how, the owner of these long vehicles, the young shall grow, and it was one of these types. And in the settlement, I think the students, they got a lot for the family, and they also were compensated. They even bought a bus of their own and so on and so forth. But I'm telling the story to show my relationship with that faculty. because as at that time, you know, all these structures were not there. And it remained the most, you know, edifying faculty, even in terms of architecture. So, it's a faculty I respect a lot. And, you know, when Prof and his friend, Professor Ochepe, at some point they left for a federal assignment. I felt very bad about it. But they went, and I really don't know what happened. But either they resigned or they were disengaged. So I asked the registrar, please, look at your laws and re-engage these people immediately. We need them. So he's somebody that I personally respect a lot. And like I told Ochepe and the person who came to me the other day, for those of you who know me, there's no way I can comment intelligently on what you people are doing here, because my area of academic endeavor is miles, nautical miles or miles or whatever, from what you people are doing. Back in ABU, you know, I was brought up in one of the most volatile faculties, call it FAS. And we used to refer to these people as herbalists. And, and I remember, you know, there's this, I think he died, Prof. Sweden. Okay. And even at lower levels, you know, the level of medication and the drugs that are produced and the sale and so on. Because the drugs are just like the food you eat. You know, is everybody at some point or another I can tell you that verily he is a very decent gentleman. So, and I'm happy that, you know, this is maybe, I don't know when we will meet again, or maybe this is my last chance. That's why when I came and I was seeing him, I was asking of wife and so on. And especially, you know, we just lost a queen. These things happen. So I wish you greater success. Honestly. I want to thank the colleagues that have thought it wise to do this to this gentleman. It is my prayer that you will sustain it. This is the third version. What you are doing is an academic tradition that has been passed on for centuries. And I'm happy that you are part of it. It takes various forms. It can take the form that you people are doing, which is annual lecture in honor of the person, or it can take the form of a festival, which I'm a beneficiary, which is a group of colleagues recognize you by doing research and writing, producing a book in honor of you, maybe in the field of your specialization or some such a thing. So it takes various ways, but sir, it is, in my view, one of the highest forms of recognition that your colleagues can give you. Not all of us will become governors. Not all of us will become senators. But you know that every year a group of people, very learned, would sit down and meditate on a given area of knowledge in respect of you. I think it is something. And I think it is a tradition that should be sustained. So, if I have to make any remarks about you, Prof, I think that's what I would say. The last thing I would say in terms of my relationship with pharmacy is, was it in 2004? Because by then I had become substantive. We had this, is it trade fair by the universities? And I know this faculty was working on venom, snake venom and so on. At Abuja, we had, what do they call it? Our Chicago exhibition, yes. And Peter Okebukula, the NUC secretary, he held me in very high esteem because of what pharmacy had done. So it's good you have recognized him, continue to recognize him, but I also hope that you will maintain the excellent tradition that has given you name and keep it up. It is very, very important for your image or the image of the university. I sincerely thank you all. Thank you.
So much, much about your kind remarks about the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Jos. Okay, so this morning we are gathered here for a lecture, and we have a distinguished guest lecturer in the person of pharmacist Ola Ijimakin. Please, sir, can I ask that you rise in preparation for the lecture? But before that, we will have his citation will be read. His citation will be read by our, sorry? This one is also working. By our senior colleague in the person of pharmacist Vivian Abo. A round of applause for him as he comes, please.
Please permit me to lean on the existing protocol. Ola Ijimakin Ebo is a pharmacist. He's a great Josite. Great Josite. He started his higher education in the University of Jos, and he attended other institutions, the business school, Netherlands, in 2012 to 2014, the Redeemed Christian Bible College, 1999 to 2000, and University of Jos, 1988 to 1994. He has a Master's of Business Administration MBA degree in July 2014, postgraduate diploma in theology, August 2000, Bachelor of Pharmacy degree, 1994, from the prestigious University of Jos. He attended several professional courses, which include Company Directors Course 1, Building Effective Directors, Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, Lagos, the Effective Board Director Program, Lagos Business School, Strategic Brand Management, Administrative Staff College of India in Hyderabad, India, 2005. In the course of his endeavor, he has received several awards, which include he graduated with distinction from Business School, Netherlands. The Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria Prize for the Best Overall Graduating Pharmacy Student in 1992-93. University of Jos Prize for the Best Graduating Student in each faculty, that's 1992-93. Dr. Nwafo Orizu Prize for the Best Student in Academic Excellence in each faculty, 1992-93. Pfizer Products Limited Prize for the Best Graduating Student in the Pharmaceutics and Pharmaceutical Technology, 1992-93. Sakaguchi the Chemist Prize for the Best Graduating Student in the Pharmaceutics and Pharmaceutical Technology, 1992-93. University of Jos Prize for the Best 200 Level Pharmacy Student in 1989-99. And the University of Jos Prize for the Best Student in Remedial Sciences. So you can see he was molded from the University of Jos. Professional experience and positions held. He started his work career with GlaxoSmithKline West Africa Limited as a medical representative in 1996 to 2002. From there, he proceeded to Fidson Healthcare Nigeria Limited, Lagos, now Fidson Healthcare PLC. There, he started as a regional manager, Northeast, in 2002 to 2003. He rose to the group product manager rank and further went up as a group marketing manager in 2006. He left Fidson to Ijimakin Pharma Limited as a managing director. Ola was the pioneer managing director of Ijimakin. That's the first pharmaceutical manufacturing facility in Nigeria that was purely into contract manufacturing. Ijimakin is the first in Nigeria to build and operate a beta-lactam facility separate from a non-beta-lactam facility as required by international standards. In 12 months as the MD, he was able to make 19 products of 11 companies that earned them a letter of recommendation from the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria for excellence. In that period, while he was MD, Ijimakin was the first to make artemether lumefantrine tablets in Nigeria, and they are still the only company making sustained release tablets in Nigeria. Ola was actively involved in the first successful merger in pharma industry in Nigeria with the merger of Ijimakin and Synergy Healthcare Limited to form the Synergy Healthcare Group in March 2008. In Synergy Healthcare Group, Ola served as the Deputy Managing Director, and he was responsible for developing and implementing marketing strategies for group companies, and he was able to grow their sales from 650 million to 1.4 billion in the first year. He grew their product portfolio from 9 to 23 in 2 years. He tied up with the Sun Pharma India to market their product range in Nigeria within the same period. As MD, or as Deputy Managing Director rather, they were able to acquire Brooks Nigeria Limited within the period, with product from acquisition becoming the biggest revenue earner for the group. And under his leadership, the company became one of the strongest players in psychiatry, neurology, and oncology in Nigeria. From Synergy Healthcare, he went back to Fidson. In Fidson, he went back as the General Manager Marketing. That's from 2011 to 2016, and rose to become the General Manager Sales and Marketing in 2016 to 2021. While he was the General Manager Sales and Marketing, he grew their sales from 7.6 billion in 2016 to 14 billion in 2017, within a year. And he further pushed it to 16.2 billion in 2018. He rose further to become the General Manager, Sales and Marketing, which is his position to date. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you pharmacist Ola Ijimakin. Thank you.
Okay. This works out.
If this works.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Thank you very much, my colleague and classmate, Mr. Pharmacist Fabian Ago. Well, the chairman of the occasion and former VC of the university, Professor Monday Mangvat, the chief host and VC, Professor Tanko Ishaya, the host, and I'm hearing today the immediate past dean. I thought she was still the dean. Professor Ngoluka, distinguished colleagues, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I must acknowledge the man in whose honor we're all gathered here, Professor Ian Sokomba. It is truly a pleasure to see you again. Let me, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your labor of love over us. A lot of us are where we are today because of the job you did on us. And I pray that God will give you many more fruitful years ahead. Well, I'm a Christian. The Bible says they shall still bear fruit in old age. I pray for many healthy and fruitful years ahead. Thank you very much, sir. I must very sincerely thank the faculty for this honor. I do not take it for granted. I do not see myself as qualified to speak to this distinguished audience. I'm a business person. This is academia. So it's not I don't think I've been in the midst of so many professors at a time. So please, I'll give it my best shot, but please pardon me if there are shortcomings. I will be speaking on the topic, access to safe and effective medicines in Nigeria, collaboration between industry and academia. I am told that I have about 1 million and after that, we'll take comments, take questions. But in that time that I have, I will largely be running over this. We'll give a brief introduction, talk about the importance of collaboration, look at potential areas of collaboration between the industry and academia, share a few examples of collaboration that has worked globally and locally. I will also try to say why I think that collaboration is not working as good as it should right now, you know, and then I will end with a few recommendations. So essentially, that is what I will be looking at in the time that I have. But let me quickly say a few things about myself. My friend and classmate has done that beautifully, but let me just emphasize again my experience in the industry. Maybe it is providence, but in my career, I have somehow gone through virtually every area of the industry. I started my as a salesman, moved to a sales manager. That is purely sales work. Then I moved into marketing, product manager, group marketing manager. After that, I ran a factory. A factory, you see production, you see quality control, you see supply chain, regulatory affairs, all that you see in the factory. And then finally came back again to oversee commercial. My title, sir, is a commercial director, Fidson PLC. That is what I am today. So by virtue of my experience, I think I am fairly qualified, you know, to speak about the industry where I operate, because I've essentially seen, you know, every part of it. Well, to lay a foundation for what we're going to look at today, let me start by giving you a fair picture of our medicine supply landscape. And I'm very brief on that, but let me mention 3 key points. Let me start with availability. Today, about 70% of finished products that we use in Nigeria are imported. 100% of the APIs are imported. So even the 30% we claim to manufacture, we import the key things that we use to manufacture them. So essentially, for a country of over 200 million people, I can say that our medicine supply is a little shaky. I'm sure we all remember COVID. During COVID, at the peak of it, a few countries restricted the export of certain molecules. I know a few countries banned the export of azithromycin. A few countries, when there was a lot of talk about effectiveness with chloroquine, a few countries banned the export of chloroquine. There were a few countries that banned the export of paracetamol raw material because they felt, you know, it was needed at least for palliative care. And beyond the export restrictions, because there was also global supply chain disruption, a lot of things could not move even when there was no ban. And for those of us who were in the industry, there was acute shortage of very simple medicines. Very simple, cheap medicines became very expensive because they were not available. Unfortunately, all the experts say another pandemic will come. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And truth is, if it comes and our medicine supply chain is still where it is, or medicine supply environment is still where it is, we may not be as lucky as we were the last time. So there is a need, you know, to prepare. A second point I would want to mention is the issue of quality. A recent survey was done in Enugu, where the researchers randomly picked products from the shelves and analyzed. They found that a quarter of the products picked randomly from the shelves were substandard. Enugu is a major city, and the authors or the researchers think it might not be very different in a lot of major cities. They also think that it is a lot worse in the rural areas. It's in the rural areas you find medicines that are not NAFDAC registered, cheap, because of poverty. The cheapest things go there, where the quality you cannot vouch for. So if randomly off the shelf, 1 in 4 you cannot vouch for, there is a problem. Essentially, the risk of treatment failures is there. If treatment fails, disease can get worse. Morbidity, mortality will get worse. Even the cost of treatment will get worse. They used to tell us something as young salesmen, that the most expensive medicine is the one that does not work. So you think you have bought something cheap. If it doesn't work, you're going to buy another one anyhow. So essentially, cost goes up. Another, probably the most crucial point I want to make on a medicine supply position is our weak health system. If you leave drugs out in isolation, our health system is very weak. Even where drugs are available, the system is so weak that some people are not even able to access them. Let me share a few sobering statistics with you, just to say how weak our health system is. Ordinarily, if someone is not well, you should see a doctor. He will assess, diagnose, prescribe. You take your prescription to see a pharmacist who will give you the right thing, counsel you, on a couple of issues about the drug. Globally, the WHO recommends a standard of 1 doctor to 600 patients. 1 doctor to 600 patients. In Nigeria today, we have 1 doctor to 10,000 patients. 1 to 600, we have 1 to 10,000. The WHO recommends 1 pharmacist to 2,000 people. 1 pharmacist to 2,000. In Nigeria, we have 1 pharmacist to 14,000. And I will tell you, it is a lot worse in the rural areas. There are communities in this country with a lot of people without a single pharmacist anywhere. Because it's rural, a pharmacist, you have a family. You also don't want to live somewhere where you can't train your children. So we all live in the cities. So it's actually worse. Any statistics you see here, it's an average. It's worse in the rural areas. If the patient becomes very sick and will now need hospitalization, it's even a little worse. In Nigeria today, we have 5 hospital beds for every 10,000 people. For sub-Saharan Africa, the average is 12 beds per 10,000. I mean, people as we are, it's 12 beds per 10,000. Nigeria is 5. Globally, the average is 26 beds per 10,000. Global average 26 to 10,000. We are 5. So unfortunately, and that is the sad part, these numbers don't look like they will get better soon. A friend of mine says a lot of people are immigrating in Nigeria, but that healthcare workers are fleeing. It's an exodus. There are final year students here. They are honest with you. A lot of them are just waiting to get their certificate. They're out. I know by virtue of my work, I interact with medical students at final year level, talk to them. Most of them are just wanting to get certificate and they are out. So these numbers doesn't look like they will get better any soon. In fact, they are likely to get worse. So our drug supply chain is very precarious. And to make the matters worse, and that's the last thing I'll say on this, is that the world has changed. The US, maybe a little over a month ago, woke up one day unilaterally, imposed, they call it a base 10% tariff on every nation on earth. In fact, if you read, there's an island where no human being is. It has only penguins. They also got their tariff. Nigeria got 14%. And I think there was an interview. They asked the US State Representative in Nigeria, what is the basis for this 14%? He said Nigeria restricts the import of certain medicines into the country, and that is the basis. And what is that all about? NAFDAC has something they call a ceiling list. A ceiling list is a list of 36 products out of thousands of medicines. The ceiling list is a list of 36 products, simple medicines, paracetamol, cough syrups, little painkillers, simple antibiotics, simple creams, not of the way, but 36 products that we know we have the know-how, the capability, and we have enough installed capacity in the country to meet our needs and even export. And the government feels, well, to protect the local industry, let us restrict the import of these 36 products. It doesn't stop a foreign company from selling out those products in Nigeria.